Now, have you ever wondered who else might have lived in your house over the years? I have a few times, actually. And a new play set in Norris Green looks at just that. It's called Home. It's set in one of the first houses to be built in Norris Green in Liverpool and tells the fictional story of everyone who's lived there since. And the script was built from the memories of the community who lived there. Paula Curry is the writer and director, and Syme is one of the community actors, and they're both in the studio with me now. Hello, how are you both doing? All right.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome in, and thanks for coming. Paula, where did the idea for this come from?
Well, we were funded by Cobalt Housing from the Community Fund, and we're talking about Norris Green as an area. We do a lot of work within Norris Green, within the community, and it has quite a negative, but it's usually depicted in quite a negative way in the press, and we wanted to do something to counteract that. So we thought, let's tell a really positive story about Norris Green. Let's get stories from the people that actually live there, and let's hand it over to them to tell their story, really. So that's where the idea came from.
And I think it will strike a chord with a lot of people, because I have wondered, I wonder who lived here 30 years ago or whatever. I only know who were the last two owners of my house before. So, a lot of people will think that, won't they?
Yes, I do think it's a strong idea. It's funny because I was talking to you about the taxi driver coming in, and I was saying once I remember stripping off the wallpaper in my mum's house, and people had written little messages underneath the wallpaper. You think, God, people lived here before we did,
Yeah.
And so I really like that as an idea. We would have liked to tell the kind of the true story of people that lived in the houses, but practically that would just be a nightmare, kind of getting clearance and making sure everybody was okay about it. So it's a fictionalised tale, but we do draw on a lot of true elements. We did oral histories with the Norris Green community, and they gave us so many fantastic stories.
I bet some of the tales there were fascinating, weren't they?
Some of them were great. I was saying we couldn't include some of them. Some of them are a wee bit libelous. Jan here, tell me a couple of libelous tales.
Oh, really?
But some of them, all the true ones are the best ones, the ones that made themselves, that made their way into the story. I fictionalised, I created some strands, but I think the best ones are the ones you can see the true ones.
Yes.
They're the strongest, I think.
So Jan, are you from Norris Green yourself?
Well, I was originally from Everton Brow, and then during the slum clearances we got moved out to Norris Green in 1964.
Right.
And I remember thinking I was in heaven. This was the countryside. We had a garden gate, and we actually had an electric light bulb in the outside toilet.
Wow.
It was fascinating.
You knew how to live, didn't you?
I surely did.
But because you've known the area then for such a long time, you've got almost an insight into how the area has changed and how the houses have changed as well.
Very much so. I mean, I remember us getting modernised around about the late 70s, and they took everything away and gave us a gas fire. So there was no heating in the house, things like that. And that was the idea of modernisation in those days,
Inside Loos, when did Inside Loos come in then?
I think that was mid-80s we got that.
Right.
That was a big deal, getting an inside bathroom, the thrill of it all. But, we had the stone sink in the kitchen up until I was about 23 or something, so it's hard to believe that we did live like that. In fact, our boiler broke this week, and my daughter, who's 25, is horrified at the fact she used to boil a kettle to have a wash or wash her hair.
I should point out that the housing has improved considerably since then. Great housing in Norris Green, I've got to say.
It is. It's vastly different.
So being an actor, was this something you were really, really keen to take part in then?
I worked in primary schools as a teaching assistant for a long time, and I helped with a lot of the scenery and backdrops and costumes and things, and it always looked such great fun, but I never thought it was for me. I really wasn't that confident a person, and I thought, no, I won't be able to do this. But I was glad when Paula came into a local community centre and was looking for people from the area, and I didn't know what it was going to entail. She was asking and nobody was interested, and I thought, that poor girl. So, like a fool.
You took pity on her.
I did.
I get a lot of that, Paul.
I put my hand up and said, me. And from then on, I thought, I got involved with the oral histories, and I thought, that's all she'll need me for, And when Paula was asking me, will you perform? And I thought, my wheelchair's a great excuse here. Oh, no, I can't. I'm in my chair, She don't no, we'll accommodate you. And I must say, it's been fabulous how much I've been included in everything, been welcomed, and I usually use a rare mobility scooter, and my peeping as I reverse is now legend. Well, as I say, for the performance, I'll be using my wheelchair, obviously.
Yeah.
And they've managed to accommodate me with a ramp.
Fantastic.
So nobody has to lift me onto the stage.
And the response from the community in Norris Green, what's that been like?
Do you know, it's been absolutely fantastic. We've got, we did the oral histories, and we went to a number of community centres, and some are more forthcoming than Jan's community centre. And we did collect so many stories, and then people were so enthusiastic about it. I asked the community members to join the cast. Jan's not actually an actress, but she's just fantastic. Loads of people have got involved. We've got a community cast of 35 members. It's intergenerational. We've got our oldest actor is about 65. You won't mind me saying that, I hope. And the youngest is about 8. But we did a little preview of it at the Ella Green Community Centre. It was last week, and we did a kind of a theatrical trailer. It was the first 5 scenes, and it went down a storm, and that's generated a whole lot of interest. So I think it's going to be a great turnout for the night.
So who are you actually playing then? What's the character, Jan?
Oh, I'm Fran. I don't like her very much.
Is that because it rhymes with Jan and it's easy?
That's some coincidence, that, Paula. Well, the person I'm portraying, she was the kind in the early days of Thatcher with the buy-to-let came in.
Right.
And Fran and George, her husband, does social climbers.
I get you.
You know, George works in the bank.
Yes.
And Fran has aspirations to a conservatory, you know, and moving out to Southport.
I see.
But it's interesting because the character that Jan plays is the polar opposite of Jan. She's so engaging, she's so rooted in the community, and she's playing this character who we don't like in the play, really. So it's testimony to Jan's fantastic talents that she pulls that off so well.
You're not going to finish the play and then have people have a pop at you outside, are you? Saying,
Well, I'm hoping
Go
not.
on, move to Southport if you want.
I'm hoping not. I've got a disguise ready.
And you've got how many actually people have you got taking part in this? And
There's 35 people in the cast, so it is just huge. It's been such an enterprise to put on because it runs from 1927 to the present day. So because characters age, we've got kind of 3 actors playing the same role as a child, as a kind of teenager, and as an adult. So it is it's a massive cast. But we're putting it on at Ella Green Community Centre next week. It's the 18th of Friday, the 18th of March. That's actually a sellout, but we're doing it at De Cell the week after.
Right.
So that's going to be the 23rd of March. So if anybody would like a ticket, please contact De Cell.
You could have to end up adding more dates, couldn't you? I think.
Do you know what? I think we will, because I think the local community are really taken with it. They're really it's their story, and I think it will get a good response. So I think we might put on some extra dates.
And what about the sets and the costume and the music? Because obviously you're taking us through time. You're taking us on a journey. Music changes, and so does fashion.
Well, Jan's husband has been fantastic. We've pulled together a soundtrack again, which reflects the decades. So it's a cracking soundtrack. So it goes from the 20s up to the present day. And Jan also sourced some fantastic archive photographs for us, which provide the backdrop. Because we can't do so many set changes, we try to do it quite simply. We had the table, and we've got a tablecloth that reflects different eras. Jan's been sourcing us kind of lace tablecloths for the 20s, and we've got psychedelic tablecloths for the 60s. She's been knitting us tea cozies as well for each era.
I was going to say, I never throw anything out. I'm a hoarder.
Oh, I need to speak to you, Paul, about that.
If you've got any clothes you need from the 80s or 90s, in fact, I'm still wearing them now.
He is, listeners, he is.
Thanks for that. You don't have to confirm it. Paula and Jan, thanks very much. Just remind us again, where can people see it? You said one's sold out.
Yeah, it's going to be De Cell School on the 23rd of March at 7 p.m. You can get tickets from De Cell or from Alt Valley Community Trust.
Brilliant. Good luck with it. Thank you very much for coming and seeing me.